So this argument is not really going to intersect with Dr. Ross's right now. I'm sure we'll have a back and forth with a critique afterwards. My argument here is in 4 parts. So you can bear with me. They're all interrelated and they all are interdependent, so they're quite important. And we're all fans of stories, so I'd like to open with a parable. Angus and Hamish, 2 brothers, were sitting down to a breakfast of porridge one cold winter's morning. And Hamish says, "Hey Angus, have you ever tried sugar in your porridge?" And he says, "Don't be ridiculous, Hamish. No Scotsman ever put sugar in his porridge." But Hamish says, "But our entire industry is really good." And he said, "Hamish, no true Scotsman ever put sugar in his porridge." I can appreciate this being a little ridiculous and a little irrelevant to me now, but this is what is known as the no true Scotsman fallacy. And the point and the problem with it is that when we're trying to define relevant criteria for a topic, often somebody wants to, usually somebody who's self-labeling with that particular criteria, be it a Scotsman or a Christian, has certain values that they consider important to themselves that they want to extend onto the idea itself. That should become apparent as we move on. So to ensure we're all on the same page, I'm going to give a very soft, gentle definition of Christian. Because when I'm talking about Christianity, I'm not talking about Presbyterianism specifically, or Methodism, or Calvinism, or Lutheranism, or Eastern Orthodox Christianity, or Catholicism. I'm talking about, so I want to make my definition as unifying as possible. And it's still going to miss some groups because there's some extremists out there who have various things. So I've made this as simple as possible. I'm going to say a Christian is who follows the following 4 beliefs. You may have more. They believe in the historical existence of Jesus as the Son of God. They believe in the resurrection of Jesus. They believe that the Bible is a historical record, although that may be a metaphorical record, because the Catholics see the Bible largely as metaphorical rather than literal. And a belief in a future state, such as heaven and hell and purgatory and limbo. I'm going to put forward that anyone who holds those 4 beliefs together is a Christian. I think it's a reasonable definition. Now, I haven't included morality in there, not because I've forgotten about it, but I think this is one of the things that Christians want to say they're moral, which is fine. I'm definitely not saying that any particular person is not moral, but moral is not inherent in Christianity. And to point out somebody who's an example of an immoral person who holds Christian beliefs and then saying they're not a true Christian is the no true Scotsman fallacy. It's unreasonable to simply exclude people you don't like, that you don't want to be associated with, simply because they're sharing this label that you've placed upon yourself. You can say they're not a good Christian, you can say they're a bad Christian, but you can't say they're not a true Christian. So, first part, pretty sure. Second one, the belief is, there's a common belief, or it's not uncommon, that Christianity is the true theology and only perfect moral system. In this particular case, I'm quoting from Bishop William Patton from the 15th century. But I would suggest that it's still a pretty common belief that Christianity is a moral system today, that Christianity is a perfect moral system, and Christianity is the only moral system. Because if it wasn't, you'd be kind of happy to switch back and forth between different moral systems, but Christianity is the way that a lot of people are pretty committed to. So this is just wrong. I'm going to contend that Christianity is, not only is it not the only moral system, not only is it not a perfect moral system, but I mean there's not even a moral system, that it fails completely to meet any criteria for a moral system we might put forward. A moral system, I'd like to define as, is a complete coherent collection of guidelines that allow you to resolve conflicts, guide your actions, and to generally live your life in a productive and useful way. And Christianity completely fails to meet this criteria. Let me illustrate. I'm not looking for a show of hands, I just want you to think about this. How many people here in this room believe that women should not speak in church? Corinthians, first book. How about if a woman is raped? She has to marry the rapist. Deuteronomy, book of Moses. Now, many Christians quite sensibly reject these books, and many, many more out of the Bible. For example, the restriction of wearing polycotton blends, for example, which I'm not quite phrased that way. But notice what you're doing here. You are no longer, once you start rejecting specific rules of the Bible as not applicable to you or your life, You are no longer following the rules of the Bible. You are creating your own morality out of your own reason. You may be drawing from the Bible a set of rules, but then you yourself are evaluating through reason, through choices, through your own mind, what is the appropriate way for you to live your life. So the Bible itself has ceased to be a moral system. You are constructing a moral system in yourself. Arguably, this is how secular ethics come about. So to some extent, anyone who's doing this is creating a secular ethics out of the Bible. Maybe they'll want to cite Paul's principle that there was neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for all one in Christ, as a kind of a defense for why you're rejecting, for example, the support of slavery or the subjugation of women. And that's when you've got attained. Or maybe you want to say that the law and the prophets were from John the Baptist. Since that time the kingdom of heaven is preached. And that's from Luke. But when you do that, what you're saying is, I judge this passage of the Bible to be more appropriate than that passage of the Bible. And again, you are weighing and choosing, reasoning out which parts of the Bible are appropriate to your life. You are not accepting the Bible itself as a moral system. You are judge of the moral system yourself. Not God, not Jesus, not the Bible, not the pastor, you. You are creating your own morality. Furthermore, there are many, many Christians in the world who are clearly not moral. Now, if Christianity is a perfect moral system, so the argument is just to demonstrate that Christianity is not a moral system at all. Let's say you just don't accept it, you want to say it is. But it's certainly not a perfect moral system. In fact, it's not even a good moral system. If you have a system, the way you judge that system is by looking at its effects. Now, at the very least, what we want a moral system to do is we can't guarantee that everyone is going to do the charitable good things. But we would hope, at the minimum, the adherents will be able to refrain from bad things, such as the KKK, such as the Westboro Baptist Church, such as slave owners, and such as Nazi Germany. Now, I am not saying at all that they were Christian, therefore they were Nazis. I'm saying there were many, many people in that country, good, honest, hard-working people, who were predominantly Christian, Lutherans, and yet they went along with these horrible things. Christianity at no point put the brakes on their actions, and there were few stand-up folk who did stand up for the moral thing, but the vast majority of them didn't. Now, if Christianity were to have any traction as a moral system at all, these people should have refrained from involving themselves in this unjust, horrific system. But they didn't. And this is one of the many things that's wrong with Christianity. That the proponents of Christianity claim that it's a moral system. They're just wrong. Which means that either they have been deluded by other Christians who told them that it was moral, or they're lying. If you're wrong and you don't know it, you're deluded. If you're wrong and you know it, you're a liar. So I want you to all think about this. If you yourself have told someone that Christianity is a moral system and it's the only way to get to a moral place, you need to ask yourself, do I really believe that? Why do I believe that? Do I believe it only because somebody I respected and liked told me that? Am I merely deluded? Am I simply repeating what somebody before me has told me? And is it right or just for me to propagate a set of beliefs that I have not asked these questions about? Moving on. Now let's talk about evidence and beliefs. I'm not suddenly going to talk about science here, though, given the audience and the speech format. I can see that most people here are probably quite amenable to science talk. But I'm not going to talk about science in opposition to belief. Science is not opposed to belief in any way. I'm not going to be extremely rigorous here from a philosophical perspective, so if people want to, kind of subject it to more rigor later on, that's fine. So I'm going to point out to you all that we all form beliefs from evidence, all the time. Everyone in this room, I hope, believes that we're in a church surrounded by other people, listening to some Irish philosophy student blabbing on about Christianity. We all believe that because we can see the church, see the people, and hear the babbling. This is evidence. This is our sensory data. This is what we see and hear and feel